see what we got here. Here's our fence that we need. That in the truck. Go back and get the other. Garden we got tilled up. Got a few things planted last week. But to give you an idea of the rain we got, you can see the little river that flows through. It's still trickling. There's springs all up in the hills, and when it rains, we get a lot of water flow that comes down through here. So we've got 3 sections of this fencing. It's from Premier 1. It's 4 pigs. I think it's 3 foot tall. It stands off the ground about, I don't even know how many inches. 5 or 6 inches. So that way when they root, they don't root up onto the fence and short it out. One of the sections is already back there. Here you can see the water flow. Probably hard to see on camera, but it flows down past the house through that culvert, but there's a pretty good flow going down through there. The plan is someday, possibly, to put a pond right out in that front field, and then this would feed it. But that's a future plan. But anyways, so those sections are all 100 feet each. So 300 feet that we have. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in here we need. This is just an old building that was on the property that is used for storage. And so put that in there. Grab the weed eater. We normally store as much hay in here as we can. This year we're going to do things a little bit different and store things. Start off with our hay tarp from Protexia. Very, very good hay tarps. They're breathable. You can store your hay under them. It gets rained on. If you've got it pulled tight, you got your round bale stacked in a pyramid, it will shed the rain. It will allow it to dry and breathe, and it does not discolor the hay whatsoever. I think it even cures it pretty good. So I'll probably get a fiberglass post out of this mess over here too. Sometimes we use them on the corners when we turn a corner with this fencing, and use it to drive in the ground and help hold the corners tight. And again, this is a disorganized mess. But all right, weed eater, fuel, fence, post driver. Should be about all that we're going to need. String. We just constantly have something with working full-time jobs, a farm. We're still doing work to Josh and Kenna's house. We just spent this week, because it was so rainy, putting in hardwood floor in their bedroom. They had it all throughout the house. We did laminate flooring in their bedroom. Originally, they took it up, and we spent this week most evenings putting down the hardwood flooring, working on some of their trim. So we never lack for things to do, if that's the best way to term that. That's why that's such a mess in there. But again, all the equipment's sitting in there right now pretty much, so that's been good. We just need to spend a day to organize that. But good weather is upon us. We've got to cut some hay. And again, we're just going to work on the pig fence while we're letting things dry out a little bit today. So the garage, cleaning it up, we'll have to wait. We'll clean it up as we need to. All right, so we'll get things busy, get back there and start on the pig fence. Okay, we're back here at the pigs. You see how shaded this all is? There's vegetation in there. They will clean that all up. That's their pen. It's a mud hole right now because of the rain yesterday. And then what we'll do when we start off, you'll see when we're done, but we'll stretch this fence and it'll go up and around that way. It'll go up the hill behind their pen. We'll take it on up into the woods that you see up that way. Bring it around. It'll come down through here. It'll come right back up towards me through here and back and around. And then what we'll do is we'll prop their gate open to that T-post that you see over there, and they'll have free roam. And we'll feed them still. Their feed will still be in their pen, but the gate will be open. Their water barrel will be in the pen. They'll have free roam, and they'll love it. Running excited. They can lounge around in the shade. They can root around up in here. That, like I said, when in a week or 2, 3 weeks, this vegetation, they'll have that mowed down. And then what we do, we rotate them over into this set of woods. So we'll move our fence. What we'll do, we corral them in the pen, do a fence move, and then we take them all down in there. Right now that vegetation's still growing down over in there, but that's where they'll go for their second stint, which is all wooded, all down into there. And again, they love it. We got a cherry tree we need to cut up that's down in there. We don't want them to eat any of the wilted leaves from it, get sick. You can see our big tote right there. There's focus back in. The tote that you see up there, we fill it from the spring that's up on the hill. And from that tote is what we fill their water barrel with. So I'm gonna get the weed eater, I'm gonna get started, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weed eat the path that the fence will go on so that it doesn't short out to the vegetation, to the weeds, and make it weak. I know pretty well where it was laid out last year. I'll weed eat it, and then as we stretch it out, if I've missed the path a little bit here and there, we'll adjust, take the weed eater and do that. And the ground's nice and soft. Those fence posts should push into the ground very easy. And we'll get this all done, turn them out, and then see where we're at. We'll probably run up the road and check that other field. And if things look good, we'll start cutting some hay. And hoping to have a very productive day today. Let's get started. And I make it wide enough so that, one, the fence can go through here, and two, we can walk around the perimeter of it, which is what we usually do every day when we come back to feed, just to check the fence in case they rooted anything up, and then clear the fence off. So now I'll continue on down this way over towards the tote, around the corner, and then I'll bring it back around in the front, and that'll be about all 300 feet of fence that we have. And then I'll check in with Josh, see if Brantley's up from his little nap, and we'll start stretching the fence out. Hopefully, for too long here, we'll have it all ready to go. So you can see now I've got a path all the way around. It goes from here. So we'll make a turn right here by the tote, up through there, up into the woods. I was being very careful down here. There's runoff from their pen, and I didn't want to get that splattered in my face. And around to there. That T-post is where we put the fencer that you see there last year. So the fence is going to come somewhere in the vicinity of this. Like I said, we'll start laying it out and we'll adjust it as it needs to go. May have to weed eat a few other little spots that I didn't get to, but for the most part, that's about the area that we covered last year. So, all right, time for the fence. It's not too bad to put up. It gets tangled up once in a while. Easier with two people for sure. But the netting sometimes gets tangled up on sticks and things like that. But now this corner is where we'll put one of those fiberglass rods to pull the corner out to. Premier One sells, you have to forgive my nose is running, allergies, I guess, but Premier One sells posts for that, but we've got those fiberglass posts laying around and we just do them ourselves. So what I'll do is I'll get the next section, I'll attach it to that one, and there's a little clip that hooks them together. I'll show you how that works, and I'll continue it on around. Then that'll be as far as I can get by myself. I'll get Josh so we can get the section of fence that's in the pig pen, and that'll be the last section. And then what we'll do is we'll bring it around to hopefully meet up with this section, and we may have to make some adjustments to the perimeter to make our fence come out where we want it to. But it's easy to do. You can see from the video, they just poke right into the ground. That's why we thought today would be a good day to do this. From the rain, the ground is nice and soft. And so I'll go grab the other section and I'll continue it on up and around. Okay, you can see now I've got this is the section that was in the pig pen. And what we do, we roll it up over top of that piece of corrugated that way, and then we bungee it to that. Then we slide that corrugated over top of the T-post that's in there, and then it won't ground out against the metal T-post. And then we can just stretch out one section, and then that's what we used to train them by. So they're already realizing that it's out of the way, but they know now what this looks like. So when we turn them out, if they've, like all the other pigs we've ever had, they'll come out of there, they'll be excited, they'll be running around, and when they approach this and see that white netting, they'll approach it with caution. And they'll have to touch it and get zapped, and they'll accidentally touch it here and there as they're roaming through the woods, but very good system. I'll be honest, the first year we tried it, I didn't know if it would work. It was a disaster, actually. We didn't even train them to it. We just put the fence out. We had a sharp, like 90-degree turn right out of their pen. One of them got trapped in that corner, touched the fence, and he or she, I can't remember which it was, just busted right through the netting. Netting wrapped around them, shocking them, took off out through here till finally it came loose. We had to repair that section of fence, and we thought, this is a disaster. This will never work. Read the instructions better and watched some YouTube videos. Thought, okay, we need to train them to this. Trained them to it, and it's worked beautifully. So this will probably be our, I don't know, 5th or 6th year with the fence. So, all right, I'm gonna get this last section put up and fine tune everything, and we'll be ready to go. Look who came to join us, up from his long nap. Did you hear them pigs? Did you hear the piggies? What do you think of the fence? Yeah. So I got the charger in place. Everything meets up the way we want it to. Now I'm just going to go around, and where two sections meet, we tie those posts together to squeeze them together. It keeps tension going both ways. And then put the fiberglass posts on the corners. This is how they hook together. It's just a clip on each section, and those two clips slide together. That'll energize those. So go up here. I got to hook together the other clips on the other sections and do the corners, and we're ready to go. They are free. Exploring outside the pen for the first time. Everything's set up and good to go. I'll show you what I did. I bungeed where two sections come together real tight, and that puts tension from both ways. And then you can see here They're starting to explore. What do you think, Brantley? What do you think? You want in here with them, don't you? What do you think of those pigs? Oh, there's your piggies. There's your piggies. I know, you want in here. Now they can get out of the slop from the rain, and they will just love this. Where's old floppy ears? Now, probably get her first. They're kind of cautious. That one there has already looked up, seen the fence, and they'll get curious, like this one, possibly, and they'll touch it. There's old floppy ears up there. She's the boss. She nibbles on your boots and everything else. She's letting these four kind of explore. What are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Kind of keep an eye on them here for a second. I'll go over and show you what I did with the fiberglass posts on the corners. Mainly what you do is you get all of your sections where they join together set first, and then you just kind of pull up your other posts and stretch the fence in and out whatever direction you need to make it tight. You can see they're already rooting. They see it and they back away. Some advice when you do it though, you try to avoid areas like this where the tree is close to that, because they like to go between it. That's a good enough space for them there. That's an old piece of wire I need to clip off. The people that used to own this property, they actually had a pump back here that they pumped water from the spring with, and that's buried underground, and they've rooted it up. But going over here to the corners, this is what we do on the corner. I don't want to touch it, but put the fiberglass post outside, and then it helps keep the corner tight. And then going up through here, you can see the fence stays up off the ground. Now sometimes when you get into an area where the ground has got a hump in it, you may have to take a shovel and knock the hump down, or just simply move your posts around. There's another joint where they come together, they're clipped together. You just don't want it to touch the ground and ground out. If it does, you'll hear it snapping. And bring it down through here, like right there. I'm not too thrilled about that. They shouldn't try to go between there, but I may have ran this a little differently up here than what we did in the past. But the fence comes down and around. Like I said, they'll eat this vegetation all down, trample it down. Comes around. I want to put another fiberglass one there on the outside, and then the fence goes down, and it zigzags like that because I was just trying to get the slack out of it. And then every day when you come out to feed them, you just walk the fence. It's easy enough to do. If there's anything touching it, knock it off. If a post is leaning or anything like that, you readjust it. And you can see here's the setup. This is not the charger that goes. This fencer is a regular fencer for cattle and other livestock. The fencer that we got from Premier One actually needs I talked to him last year. I got to order it. There's a board or a relay or something in it that went bad. But basically what you have, these are the leads that were on the other fencer. They just thread on, positive and negative. Positive clips onto the fence. Negative, what we use, which works good for us, is we just clip it to the T-post. It's down in the ground, it's a wet area. The little fencer that came with this is a little box that has little spikes in the bottom of it, and the spikes poke into the ground, and that's what provides your ground. Now, when it gets hot and dry in the summer, sometimes it loses its ground. There's floppy ears. She's like the boss. She's the boss. And it loses its ground, so what we do to remedy that is we'll get a bucket of water from the spring, and we will pour water right at the base of it, and it gives it a good ground. And again, you could lay, I've heard of people laying a piece of livestock panel on the ground and hooking the clip to it. It's a bigger surface area. So just want to give you a little view here. See, now this is going uphill here, so it's good exercise for them. They love it. They're just exploring their perimeter now. And you can see they all well know, or should know from being in the pen, when they approach that netting, they're smart. They know that hurts. Ooh, that one almost touched. And just getting them used to it's the most worrisome part of it, because again, if you get one that accidentally bumps against it, pointing the wrong direction, or the others are, and they all take off running, that's when you can have a chance of them busting through it. But for the most part, it's worked really well for us and for these pigs, and it gets them out of being cooped up in a pen. Much healthier for them. Like I said, they'll eat down this vegetation. They get good exercise. I mean, it's hilly where we live, so everywhere we run them it's hilly. They're going up and down the hill. Gives them good muscle tone, and that really makes a difference when we take them to butcher. You're not taking fat, flabby pigs to butcher. They're muddy, and again, like I said, we got 1.9 inches of rain. I guess you could just say 2 inches of rain in a 24-hour period here in southeastern Ohio. And which they like it. They slop in it, but this also provides them much better area. They'll eat on that honeysuckle that's growing there, and plenty of shade, plenty of room to move around. So I'll get the tester and let you see what it's putting out. Okay, here. Oh, you want to see this? That's the tester. Yeah, tester. Say tester. Okay, let me go test the fence, and then I'll hold you. Okay? Show you what we're getting. So you can see it on there. 8,000 volts. Or kilovolts, whatever that's measuring. Whatever it is, it's hot. And it's that's way all the way around. I'll go around and I'll check the other sections where they join just to be sure, but you can see now they're really getting out and moving. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yeah, you're happy? Yeah. And the piggies are happy? Yeah. Everybody's happy. Yeah. No, not my glasses.